If he falls in the draft, which means he'll probably fall to a good team with a good quarterback, I wouldn't be surprised if this is your rookie of the year.
Really interested to have a conversation around this next guy. Jahan Dotson, wide receiver, Penn State, 5'1", 110, 178, 9.5-inch hands, ran a verified 4.43 at the NFL Combine. Some of us on staff have a first-round grade on Mr. Dotson. Some of us don't. So you did a write-up. He's an 84.83 final eval. So his consensus score for us is right up against that glass ceiling, getting into that first-round grade range. So where do you stand on Jahan? Are you worried about his size being something that limits what kind of roles he can take in an NFL offense?
So the size, of course, will bother some, but it doesn't bother me. And the reason why is because he plays bigger than his size, especially at the catch point. His ball skills are incredible, strong hands. He has no issues attacking the ball in flight, and that's what you want to see. He's real competitive in that realm. At the line of scrimmage, there will be some concerns against more physical corners, and that really can be negated by him just improving his release package, giving more than one or two, solo moves, just stringing together moves and being more nuanced and mature there. And a lot of people for some reason, had questions about his speed. He has a track background. I believe he's a 100 and 200 meter champion. And you see that when he does open that stride in the open field. And again, he's a nuanced route runner. He understands spacing and zones, so he knows how to find the soft spots and gives his quarterback advantageous windows. And I love everything about this young man. He's a competitor. You can move him around at the Z. If you're not comfortable with him outside, you can put him in the slot, give him a two-way go, and give these nickel corners something to think about when they come to the line of scrimmage. Because if you miss him at the line of scrimmage, he can get vertical on you, and then at that point, it's a foot race. And you don't really catch many track guys, right? So Jahan Dotson is someone that I actually, Kyle, I think he's going to be someone that we hear his name towards the back of the first round.
I think he's got the best hands in the class.
There we go, Joe. There we go.
Legitimate,
spice.
He knows how to go get it, and it's just natural how he greets the football. And whether it gets on him hot, he handles it. He's got to scoop out the low stuff, he handles it. He's got to work back across his frame and his momentum. He can handle that football. And so, the route running's there, but it's also the hands and how competitive he is at the catch point that I really love. And, DP, you mentioned that there could be some ideas that this is like a slot-only type player. Well, he wasn't at Penn State, right? He played on the outside the overwhelming majority of his snaps. And so, I know that that's going to be a bit of a jump, right? It's different playing on the outside at Penn State versus the NFL, but there's a lot of good friggin' corners in the Big Ten, and so he has been tested. And so I think that this is a guy that's more interchangeable by alignment than maybe some people might give him credit for. I think he's a legitimate 3-level threat, and so this is a really good football player that's going to make an NFL passing offense more dynamic.
See, that was going to be my talking point was he can win at all 3 levels.
Yeah.
And that's something that not many receivers in this class can say. He can beat you deep with the speed. He ran a 4.43. I think he plays even faster than that on tape. In terms of getting the ball in his hands, he's outstanding after the catch. He can make defenders miss. He can take the quick bubble routes, take him 60 to the house. He's that kind of athlete. And so when you have a guy that can really hurt a defense at all 3 levels, there's not many things he can't do, and he does everything at a high level. So I think this is definitely a guy who's easily worth a first-round pick. You wish he was a little bigger. You wish he had more size on the outside, but as Damian mentioned, it's hard to get your hands on him. And so he's an excellent route runner, understands leverage, understands spacing. He has it all.
Yeah, this guy here, if he falls in the draft, which means he'll probably fall to a good team with a good quarterback, I wouldn't be surprised if this is your rookie of the year, because I think this guy is this dynamic and he's really nuanced as a receiver. We talked about everything. So for me personally, I don't understand why this guy isn't talked about as being a top 2-3 receiver in this class, because I think he's that special. Like his explosiveness, like you said, jumps off the tape at you, and you talk about just him attacking the ball at the highest point. Like he goes over everybody. He may be listed at 5'11", but he doesn't play like that. He plays like he's 6'1", 6'2". He's fearless, an explosive player. So man, this guy might be, I think he's wide receiver 2 for me. So I'm that high on this guy. I really like this player.
I love it.
Yeah,
Coming in hot. I love it.
Hey, listen, here's the thing that's kind of bittersweet about playing in some of these college offenses. you get to see the complete spectrum of their catch radius, right? When they're going to get to the NFL level, and that ball is going to pretty consistently be on the face mask or on the numbers. Not Jahan. Jahan's one-handed stuff over the middle of the field on a seam ball that he's got 4 yards of separation, and he's got to open himself all the way back up to the line of scrimmage when he's carrying 4.43 vertically up the field. Are you kidding me? And then, we talked about his ability to create and in the screen game. And this was an offense that had a lot of manufactured touches that was designed to get your athletes the ball on the perimeter. Mm-hmm. And so I think you want to see the explosiveness down the field, go look at the Wisconsin game, right? It's a log jam early in the game, and they come out in the second half and say, you know what? F it. Jahan's down there somewhere. And they threw it, and he was wide open and created a couple of explosive plays after not getting anything going in the first half.
You go back to that Ohio State game against Sean Wade. On the perimeter, Sean's in phase with him, going right downfield, and he just skies over him with the one hand, and it shows the hand strength and the ball skills. This is a really, really good player.
And let's be fair. I mean, we're talking about size and playing bigger than his size. Garrett Wilson is pretty generally conceived to be a top 3 receiver in this class. He's an inch taller and 5 pounds heavier.
Absolutely.
Now, he's got a little bit more length.
He may be more dynamic in the speed department, in play speed, in my opinion.
Yeah. So they win in different ways after the catch, but that's kind of a fun foil of those two guys. And Keith, I'm with you. He's my wide receiver 3.
Yeah.
So I love Jahan Dotson as a player. I think we consensus have him as one of our top 5 guys. I mean, this 84.83 final grade for him is very lofty status in this wide receiver class filled with a bunch of talent. So be interesting to see where that landing spot is. If he does fall into the 20s, Keith called it. Look for that Rookie of the Year coming his way.
Rookie of the Year.